Tiali. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks so much for having me over in your epic little jam space. I've been really excited about today. You're an epic musician from the Central Coast. Bless. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself first of all? Where did you grow up?
I grew up here on the Central Coast. Been here my whole life, unfortunately. Other than travelling here and there. But my family was always musical, so I grew up, around a bit of creative.
Both mum and dad?
No, my dad's side. All his sisters sing. His mum and dad play instruments, and so I think I get a lot of that from that side. My mum does like to try and hold a tune also, but but yeah, I do have to give a lot of the credit to Dad's side, I think.
Did you get into this?
Well, I mean, I always was singing when I was younger. Christmases, I remember being 5 and, practicing songs and insisting on coming out and performing them for everyone and stuff. But it's sort of been a gradual thing that's always been there. I did a lot of dancing when I was younger. So that was sort of what I thought I wanted to focus on. And then sort of gradually with that, I started singing more and started
Did you
learning.
get lessons or was it innate?
I got lessons for sure. I was dancing, and then at the school, there were group singing lessons and stuff, so I started doing a bit of that. Still focusing on dancing mostly, but then as I got older, I just kind of phased out of that and into this a bit more.
Nice.
And
how did you refine your writing side of things? Because if you started singing, the craft of writing, was that just perseverance or?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was more it was an emotional release. It was just an expressive thing at first. I started playing guitar and then doing covers and stuff like that, and then just naturally started trying to write through that. But then I guess I've started to refine things more in the last few years as I've had people to work with and to sort of give me that push in that way. So
it's it's incredible. Do you find, is there blocks that you ever come across within yourself?
Massive. I'm one of those people that when I'm feeling it all the time. I'm I'm constantly writing, I can't sleep because I'm thinking of songs in my head and stuff, but then I'll have these massive periods where I'm just not feeling it. I don't feel creative and so I used to really struggle with that, but now I've just sort of started to allow myself to just flow in and out of that, and if I'm not feeling that way, then I won't try and force it.
Oh,
but
that's cool.
Yeah, and I guess when I do have those breaks, it allows me time to focus on other things like yoga and stuff like that. But it's something that I've always struggled with a little bit.
How do you deal with I guess it's procrastination in those lull moments? How do you deal with that?
Well, what I have recently figured out is, for me, the best way to get out of a procrastination period is to force myself into something. So, say if I'm feeling lazy, I'll book myself in for a class and pay for it and be okay, I have to do that in 2 weeks, or
a class,
or a class of whatever, a yoga class or a dance class or something, or music wise, I'll book myself in for a session with a producer or something that's locked in, and then because I find once I do that, I'm all excited after it and I get that spark back. So sometimes it's just a matter of having something that I have to do.
You trap yourself.
Yeah, I do. I purposely trap myself, and then once I do it, I'm yes, let's do this again. But
well, I mean, you mustn't be that bad because you're signed to Sony, so that's a recent success of yours. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. yeah, it's very fresh. You know, literally sent the papers off not too long ago. But yeah, it was a gradual kind of thing. I always sort of pictured myself being more of an independent artist because I like to have that freedom. But yeah, it just feels right, you know, and to have that support and, you know, a bit of a team to help you with putting things together and the releases. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. And yeah.
Were you hesitant because of, earlier we spoke about being sort of confined to a genre in some ways?
Yeah, that's massive for me. You know, since I've been writing songs, like I started off, I was like super folky, soul, acoustic guitar, like swore I didn't even want like other instruments in my music. Like I was like this, you know, like Jack Johnson. That was like, it started like that, like when I was like 15. But then, you know, and then I was feeling more soulful. I had a massive like kind of neo soul phase. I was listening to like a lot of Hiatus Coyote and stuff. And then I've got like the grungy side that I think's been sort of ingrained into me from my dad listening to heaps of 90s as I grew up. So yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a thing for me that I struggle with, and I still fluctuate between genres and the way I like to write, but I've just found that, yeah, I'm just going to sort of focus on.
Interesting, because I mean, it is an interesting dilemma, like as a concept as a whole, in the sense that labels do want to funnel you through this tunnel, right?
Yeah.
Like as a concept, what do you think? Do you think that's beneficial? Or
I think maybe not always in an expression sense, but in the way of you know, creating a project and really trying to put that project out there and, you know, I guess sell it in a way. Yeah, I think that it is beneficial in that way because it's sort of, you know, to create an audience and have, you know, a certain, I guess, place to sit and people sort of know what they're in for when they're gonna, you know, listen to that artist, if that makes sense. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's
just one
crazy.
of those things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So what does being an artist mean to you? Like if you just tune into that, like could be a sense of duty or anything. What does it mean to you?
For me, it's just all expression, you know. It's a massive release. Like I write my best songs when I'm like crying and upset, and it just comes out, and yeah, you know. So I think that's where it kind of started for me. But I just, you know, I like creativity, and I guess I in a way identify with that. So, you know, they come hand in hand. But yeah.
Where do you think music comes from in terms of inspiration?
Inspiration?
Yeah, or just music, like for you, where do you draw your magic from? Where does it come from for you?
It's hard to say, like, you know, as I said, a lot of it for me, I'm quite like a happy person, but my music is kind of dark in a way, I guess. I write about a lot of sad things, and so for me, you know, not all of the time, but a lot of the time it's coming from like this a deep, you know, hurt that I need to release. And not always, you know, I love writing, you know, fun songs and just having a jam and that kind of stuff, but
it's always, it seems to you like a very internal thing rather than drawing inspiration from the world. Potentially it's more like an emotional upheaval.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, I find my inspiration with, you know, nature and the outside world is more of a different connection, I guess, more of a physical connection of actually being out there and being present. But yeah, when it comes to writing, like it's a personal internal thing that I like to get off my chest. And yeah, and like I struggled with, you know, co-writing and stuff like that, and, you know, doing sessions with producers and all that kind of stuff, because for me, especially to like go into a co-writing session and start a song with someone, I'm like, well, I don't have anything right now that I need to get off my chest. I feel really good. So like, let's just hang out and chat, you know? But yeah, so it's, I guess that's a skill I'm trying to build is like being able to channel that and, you know, not have to actually be feeling that at the time, but be like, okay, what is there that I can pull out and like put into something, you know?
Interesting.
So,
how does your lifestyle affect your music in the sense, you know, you're going down this like rock, psyche sort of avenue. How does your lifestyle affect you in the sense, you know, there's always a stereotype with rock and roll that you guys party really hard, right? So it's like, you know, there is that, you know, I've been swept up in it as well. It's like you got to party, you got to like stay up late to almost to get to that music sometimes. Is that true for you?
You know, I don't think so because, I mean, as much as I do like to write in those moments, for me, it can cloud me a bit and it can distract me to the point where rather than like releasing it, I'll try and numb out and, you know, avoid dealing with the situation altogether. Whereas when I'm sober, I don't have anything to sort of distract me from that. And that's when I'm like, okay, guitar, like heal me, you know?
So you've tapped into the purest sort of expression.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess so. There's not to say there's no partying. There's been a little bit too much of that, but yeah,
Healthy
I think
amounts.
it doesn't necessarily. I don't think it necessarily helps with my creativity. I think a lot of people it does, but for me, it's probably the other way. You know.
Cool. What kind of music do you think we need now?
That's a tricky question. I think we need more variety. I think we need less. We need less structured, similar sounding, you know, I guess pop music. But, you know, there's plenty of amazing pop artists. But I think that, especially with radio and stuff, the industry does kind of confine things a little bit. And, you know, there's so much amazing world music and experimental music and psych and, you know, that people love.
Kind of like letting it open up a bit more to everyone.
Yeah, and I think, like structure-wise for me is a massive thing. I love a song that like takes you on a journey and you can sit back and really get wrapped up in it and you don't know where it's going to go and then it's gone to this other section and then, you know, there's some instrumental and, you know, that's my favorite kind of music. So I do struggle sometimes with, you know, the verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. And like, I guess a lot of my songs are like that because, I don't know, I'm more of a solo artist. So naturally, I don't have as much like, you know, instrumentation kind of.
But in terms of what the world needs, you think it would be, you know, beneficial to throw away that structure and have more expression, really?
Yes, like, yes, so much, you know, especially just, with mainstream radio and everything. Like, I understand the way, like, a pop structure can make you feel and work for a song. Like, I understand, you know, the build and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, as I said, sometimes it's just about being taken on a journey and just letting the music go where it wants to rather than having to be, you know, 3.5 minutes structured fucking, you know.
Absolutely. No, I hear that. I hear that. Oh. What's been one of the hardest things about the music industry for you?
Probably that. What I'm talking about, you know, I have so many songs written, like so many demos, songs that I've been playing with my band, and I guess I'm filtering them out in a way to find like the strongest ones, but also, you know, songs that are going to be, I guess, radio worthy and, you know, be able to be built on in that way. So, and I love those songs and they are like my strongest songs, I guess, but yeah, at the same time, like I would, you know, you want to still be able to keep those quirky, obscure things and like, you know, be able to
that's interesting.
Express that
so
as well.
It hasn't been necessarily grinding and doing the hard yards with gigs and stuff, like that never exhausted you or anything?
No, I loved it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't do that much of it. Like, I did so many cover gigs from when I was like 16 to, I don't know, 23 or something. that was hard. Like, I mean, I was just used to it. That was just my lifestyle. And I wasn't working during the week, so like it was good at the time. But yeah, that I ended up finding quite tricky because it was like sucking my creativity. And you know, you're playing to people who aren't really listening, and it's, you know, just other people's songs. And yeah, so I found myself kind of stopped writing, and just that was my music outlet, and then I didn't really need it anywhere else because it felt like a job. So yeah, and then I was playing with the band for a while, and we like just started kicking it off. We did like a year or so of like, you know, just gig after gig, and I was loving it. I think the band was probably going, come on, T, like chill it out a bit. But I'm like, yes, come on guys,
We'll
this
take
is
that
sick.
gig 6 hours south.
Yeah. And they're like, dude, come on, like give me a weekend free. But
That's so funny.
but yeah, so not at this point. But as I said, like I'm pretty fresh to the
and obviously
the original
COVID has
gig
just
scene.
like ruined all of that.
Yes, COVID.
So how has COVID affected your career?
I had like, when it started, it happened to me twice. So like last year I had a single release. We did like the single launch gig, and then we had like a bunch of shows lined up after that. It's like a little mini tour that got cancelled. And then the same thing happened recently. We had recently Rhythm Hut Halloween last year. Yeah. So that's that. I'm saying recently because for me that's like almost my most recent gig, which is almost a year ago. So yeah, we had some, you know, built up, and we had to can those as well. So, and it's also been super hard because like I've been preparing for like an EP release for a couple of years, you know, building up the right tracks and refining them and everything. And and so now they've got to the point where I've just signed with the label, we're really kicking things into gear, and the songs are there, but I can't like, you know, get the band in to play them live and, you know, finish the tracks off. I can't do music videos, you know, all that stuff that I want to have ready before I actually put the songs out. So it's like, it's so frustrating because they're there, but I can't actually give them to the world just yet because I just don't have the freedom.
And musos usually have to work a second job anyway, and now it's like you absolutely have to work a second job, right? So what's your second job again? Do you want to share?
Disability care.
Yeah. So you're working all the time as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 days a week.
And then are you still writing a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
As I said, I flow in and out of it. But yeah, still writing. Probably not quite as much as I would like to be, but that means I'm probably happy. So that's good. But yeah, you know, a little bit more time for that would be great. But in saying that, you know, you've got to pay the bills. Yeah, and I do love my job. You know, all my clients are beautiful, and I do get something out of it in a different way. So I'm grateful for that. But I think.
Do you ever play music with any of your clients?
Sometimes.
Oh, that's
lovely.
Yeah,
on the occasion. One of my clients has a guitar, and so I've played him a couple of songs, or like taught him a couple of chords or whatever, you know, written down some little tabs and stuff. But not all the time, but you know, on the occasion. Actually, I do have one client who used to be an amazing musician. Unfortunately, he has dementia now, but he was in a band called Stupidity, but he was like in the 80s. He was like, I don't know, he just tells me so many cool stories about his band, and you know, it sounds like he had a bit of a following, and he actually played with like In Excess,
cool.
and like Divinals, and like some pretty sick bands. So
awesome.
It's cool. We have a good connection in that way. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, great. That's awesome. So finally, I guess I want to ask you, at the start you said you've been on the coast your whole life, and maybe that felt a little bit unfortunate. You're obviously still here. What do you love about it? Oh, there must be some things. You're still here.
Yeah, I mean, my family's here. I love my family. But you know, it's beautiful. It's, you know, I'm, especially during COVID, I'm so thankful to have nature. You know, there's, infinite spots to bushwalk and explore and surf, and it's beautiful, you know, and so it's good, and you know, like just to have that quiet area, you know. But yeah, I guess
Because you're
I've
not a city girl.
No, I mean, I think I could be for a period of time.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know if it would be the healthiest lifestyle for me. But like I really just want to be in a spot where I can just go to a gig spontaneously. You know, there's galleries and art and culture and, you know, music, and I do love that. The idea of that, I guess. But yeah, I think it would wear on me fairly quickly because I'm a nature girl for sure. So yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with me today. You're going to play us a song.
Oh, okay.
That'll be wonderful.
Yep.
All right.
You're not listening, you're talking over me, and I barely had any sleep. My brain's twitching from the substance you gave me, and so is yours clearly. And I can taste your voice, cause it's been a couple days, and the teeth need a clean, cause they require quite a paste. I can hear your voice, but the words ain't mean nothing when you're coming down. I know you love me now, so just close your mouth. Can't you see that I'm breaking down? Cause you know we don't belong in this old town, darling, darling. You're a lot like the friend I never had. But these moves, they gonna send me fucking mad. And I know I'm your sweet sugar pea, so why you being bitter to me? Can't you see that I'm breaking down? Cause you know we don't belong in this old town. But I know it's kinda hard when you're living in a box with another moody fucker who's been swinging her rocks, and he's kicking all the love she licking his feet. He's a wreck driven by his substance, and he's been kicking for days in a sexual haze, but it's over now. Oh, but can't you see that I'm breaking down?